Alright guys, so this is a really goofy thing that I don't even quite know why I did, but so we've got an Adaptec PowerMac G4 SCSI controller installed in this PC. I say PowerMac G4 because it has the Mac ROM on it. It doesn't have an option ROM. You can't boot from a hard drive that's connected to this on a PC because it lacks that option ROM. But that's the only thing it lacks. It'll actually work under Windows on a PC. You just can't boot from it. So I've got a 50-pin SCSI cable connected to this 120 meg SCSI hard drive from like 92 or something like that. This is the enclosure it's out of. You may remember this from many, many years ago in the Apple II GS video that I made that was like a couple minutes long or whatever. And the only reason I have the enclosure part here is because it has this really fancy like SCSI device ID selector, and I honestly and truly don't know how to select SCSI device IDs using jumpers. So I just thought, what the heck, I'll just keep this hooked up. Plus it has a nice little indicator light on the front that I can use. So yes, this is a Windows XP machine. This is an Athlon 64. It's kind of a gaming PC, but kind of not. It's just, I mean, I guess at one point it would have been considered a gaming PC. It's just not really good for the time. It's okay for the time. It was really good, or it would have been really good a few years before it was manufactured. So yeah, seeing as this actually does somehow function, I actually tested it a few minutes ago since I didn't even know if it was going to work at all. I do have a bit of a surprise later. We will see if I can get anything out of. First things first, let me just demonstrate that this does in fact work. I think it still has a broken copy of ProDOS 16 on it that I don't really care about because it never really worked very well. This drive has some serious problems. It just kind of randomly cuts in and out of working. It's very strange. Anyway, let's just fire this thing up. So, now there you go. There's the specs. Got like a 120 gig Barracuda in here for the system, I believe. Yeah, if you look right here, you can see it accessing the drive. Checks it as the system boots, of course, like it would any hard drive. System is slow to boot. For an XP machine anyway, it's like, oh gosh, I'm sorry. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and check system information. Hardware, device manager, you'll see, don't worry about this, this is the onboard audio that I'm not using. I'm using the we're using a Sound Blaster Live. We go up to, we go down to SCSI and RAID controllers. You'll see the Adaptec PCI SCSI controller right there. This actually does have some, I think it has some kind of Ultra SCSI connector on the back. I've actually never seen the connector before. I think it would work with like the vintage Mac, like Castlewood Orb drive maybe, if I had the right cable for it, something like that. Let's see what else was there. Oh, this system actually has 1394 controller. I didn't realize that. Here we go. Here's the hard drive. As you can see right there, it shows up as a SCSI disk device right above the IDE Seagate Barracuda. So now, if I open disk management, there it is, uninitialized. Again, I don't care about what's on this. Let's try to initialize it. Worked perfectly. Which only takes a second. Let's go ahead and create a new partition. We will format it as FAT32. 118 megs. Actually, we can do FAT16 just for the heck of it. Lol. What you call it, lol. Alright, and there we go. When I hit finish, it's going to format it. Oh, it's doing a full format since it's such a small drive. Let's see. Well, we'll see if it takes. honestly surprised this thing's still working. It's pretty much on life support at this point. I did get this thing at an estate sale not too long ago. It's a little bit newer, and it's the IDE version. This does not seem to work. I cannot get it to show up on anything. I did get it to show up on Pentium 1 for just a minute, but it was not cooperating very well. Alright, well, you know, I started playing solitaire to pass the time like you do, and it finished formatting. So here is our drive. FAT16 formatted. There it is. Let's go ahead and copy some stuff to it. I don't know what I could possibly fit on here. I don't know what I even have on this machine. That's 40 megs. That Windows XP Service Pack 1 is bigger than the whole drive. So there's that. Let's see. Sample photos, maybe? 282K? Well, I mean, yeah, that'll work. There's barely anything even for that drive, though, so let's see. Couple WMA files. It took it a second. How about Chodai Mahjong 2006? It's 13 megs. Let's give that a shot. Kind of seems like the drive locked up weird. It copied. Now let's delete that. That's what happens when the drive's that small. Let's try installing or extracting something to. Actually, I don't know what I could. Screw it. Let's just copy Kodai Mahjong to the drive. I don't know if it's like updating the search index or what when it's doing that, but here it is. It's all here. I can play some MIDI files. Oh, that's quiet. MIDI's all the way up. Okay. Yep, that's playing off of the old SCSI drive. Let's try running the game off of it. Yeah, I mean, it's running off of it, that's for sure. I mean, what is there to say, really? I don't know if I change, like, the appearance of the stuff. Well, I guess this game mostly just runs in memory, huh? Interesting. Yep, so they don't have a lot that I can throw on here. Interesting. Well, it's sure working. I'm shocked to say that it is. I mean, basically works like any other hard drive from this time period. Pretty interesting, really. So yeah, here's my solitaire game. That's not really important. There it is. Really interesting. I don't know what happens. Oh yeah, Windows XP doesn't have scan disk. Wait, if Windows XP doesn't have scan disk, then how would I do a surface scan? Surely it's still got that functionality? Is it in check disk? No, it doesn't look like it. Huh. Weird. I don't know. That's strange. Okay. Well, anyway, Oh, you know what, though? Oh well, but hey, here it is. Here's the drive working. Really interesting to see that on a Windows XP machine. Let's go ahead and shut it down. And there's that. Your eyes do not deceive you. What you see before you is a Seagate ST-251N. Bought at the same garage sale as the IDE drive that didn't work. I don't actually know if this will work. Probably the drive probably doesn't work at all, to be completely honest with you. So I don't know what to expect except a lot of noise. The 251N is different from the regular 251 in that instead of being an RLL or MFM drive, it is a SCSI 1 drive, which is why I think I might be able to get it to work. So, it could also just blow up. I mean, there's a reason I'm recording, and there's also a reason why literally every single part in this computer is expendable. There's nothing in here I care about. The thing I care the most about is this RAID Max power supply, just because it's the last power supply I own that's just your typical bare metal computer component color. There's also a 120 gig Seagate hard drive in here, but it's kind of like a capacitor exploded on it at one point, and somehow it's still chugging. Like, I don't think it's got much life left in it, so I don't really care about that either. And the optical drives aren't even connected, so who possibly cares? I'm gonna go ahead and Google something real quick to see if I could possibly damage anything, but I don't think I will. I think SCSI is SCSI, as far as I know. Okay, so I was slightly wrong. This actually is a SCSI 2 drive, which is the same type of SCSI interface as the drive we were just using. So I think we might be in luck. This may work. Again, it could also blow up. We just have to find out. But before we do that, I should probably put a piece of paper under it. I don't know how well it is isolated from the case here, and I definitely don't want to cause it to blow up. So, I don't know, was there a paper in here? I mean, here's my lab report from college from last week. Yeah, that'll do it. Just keep the staple out of it, and we should be good. These drives are also pretty severely prone to stiction problems, I think, so it may not even spin. Well, without further ado, here goes nothing. That sounded surprisingly healthy. Okay. I accidentally stopped recording, but it totally accessed it there. Let's see if we can get that again. There you go. Kind of sounds like the head might be stuck. It would be weird for the head to be stuck and the rest of the drive to work, though. The drive might also just be that slow, though. This is taking a long time to boot. It's trying an awful lot. I didn't think about the fact that this is probably the device identifier select, and I haven't put anything on there. Okay, it's gone past the boot screen now. This is like, I don't know, is this like cobalt or something? Like, I don't know what this is. What kind of metal this is. Oh? That was a different sound. So it has never changed from this weird access pattern. But it did mount, which is really strange to me. Like, there it is. It doesn't even know what file system it is. But it mounted it. So, I mean, the drive is, like, kind of working, but at the same time, not really. It's really, really strange. I don't get it. So, yeah, I think we're just going to shut the computer down now. Oh. Oh, okay. Nice. Darn it, I quit recording and missed the spin down by like a couple of seconds. This is an auto parking drive. I could hear the very unique pattern of it. Basically, what these drives do when they park is it just reverses the polarity of the motor coils, which turns the spindle into this really nice big generator. And it just uses that to knock the stepper motor as far back as it will possibly go off of the platters. And you can always detect a drive that does that by this really unique grinding sound of the stepper motor hitting the edge of its motion, as well as the fact that when it does that, the spindle starts spinning down much faster. Yeah, so the drive like kind of works. I'm really confused by what it's doing, but I'm going to mess with it a little bit more. I've got it powered up again. I think it's doing the exact same thing. I did set a SCSI ID this time, just out of curiosity. Yep, there it goes. I don't know why that would be happening. It's a really strange issue. Well, I've really outdone myself this time. Here's the PowerMac G4 with the SCSI card put back in it, and I couldn't even find a proper USB mouse, so instead we're using the thing that was closest to me, which is, of course, the G502. And you put this on anything that's higher than the lowest DPI setting, and it just sails. Like, here, let's hit this on highest for just the heck of it. Oh yeah, 1 millimeter, and it goes half the screen. Perfect. This is what I want in my retro computers. Yep, there we go. Alright. So yeah, this machine works. I mean, I don't use it that often, but it works. And if we go to here, you will see supposedly 2 SCSI cards. A card? Okay. So I guess A card must be the secondary or like RAID controller, and then I'm guessing ADPT is Adaptec. So, yeah. It is definitely seeing the SCSI card. And we're going to shut this down and we're going to connect the drive. I think I'm going to pull the power plug from each of these, well, Death Stars. These are the drives that fail all the time. I'm surprised they're still running. I don't have anything important on this machine, of course, so thankfully under OS 9 these dual G4s don't get that hot, so I don't need to have the fan on them. If I were under OS 10 it would be a different story. Yeah, let's see if I can get anything out of this thing now. It's entirely possible that this machine will just blow up from having this drive connected to it, because I don't know what the power supply is rated for in here, and I don't know what this thing draws, so let's see. No? I don't completely know that it's supposed to sound like that, but I don't know how it is supposed to sound. I've only ever heard a 227, I think. Well. Got a cursor? Uh-oh. I think we may have the same thing going on. We got a Happy Mac. So something's happening. It is booting. I don't know what this thing's doing now. I have a feeling it's going to do the exact same thing, that this is all a waste of time. I mean, it's not really a waste of time if we find out if the drive's dead, I guess, but... Well? That was a slightly different behavior. That was loud. Holy crap. Alright, well now it's time to enter our password. I'm not sure it's really detecting the drive, but... not seeing anything. That doesn't bode well. Well, there's a hard drive, Seagate, revision number block. and ST-251N. Now, it's also entirely possible this is one of those drives that does not work if it's formatted in with a different controller than you're trying to use it in. Now, I don't necessarily want to reformat this because I don't know if there's something cool on it, but there's probably not. It's probably dead, frankly. I'm probably still just dealing with a dead drive, but I don't know, man. Let's just let's fire up drive setup and see what it does. Wherever it is. Not in there. Utilities, maybe? Yeah, drive setup. Yeah, no, I think it's just dead. It's doing that thing again. Yeah, this is weird. There is our drive, and the camera will not focus on the screen, but there it is. It says it right there. If I hit, oh, it does see a DOS volume. Would we get something better if I connected one of the other hard drives, maybe? Well, only one way to find out. Let's connect one of the OS X drives. Well, it's getting late, and unfortunately I never got anything out of this, but you're not supposed to run these sideways, but, well, seeing as it doesn't seem to work anyway, let's just see what the heck it does when it's running sideways. I've unplugged the PowerMac's internal speaker to reduce noise. You see that spinning there. Yeah, so the stepper motor's working. It's working fine, actually. It's the one part that is. Then the light just stays busy the whole time and nothing happens. That is a strange behavior. Oh, I'm accidentally zooming in with my thumb. Oh, hey. Get a close look. Now let me turn the computer off and you'll get to see it park. Yep. Well, it was an interesting thing nonetheless. So it's been, oh gosh, I don't actually know how long it's been now. It's been several days to a couple weeks. I honestly can't keep track. But anyway, this is a Macintosh SE. I'm going to try to connect this hard drive to it. So there's a couple things here. This actually had like a Centronics external terminator on it. I don't think you need that when the drive has built-in terminating resistors, so I took it off. We'll see how that goes. I want to make sure nothing's shorting against the power supply over here, because this has to run open. So yeah, this is plugged into the Mac SE. Man, my phone is blowing up over there. Okay. And first things first, though, we're just going to turn the computer on and see if it works, because I haven't turned this on in like a year. And it has one of these mini Scribe 3.5-inch clunkers in it. It's a 20 meg. They aren't the worst hard drives in the world, but they can go to seed just sitting around for some reason, so hopefully it's fine. If it's not, I'll take it apart and I'll throw like the 120 meg Mac store I have laying around in there, but Yeah, give me a second to check my phone since it's apparently blowing up, and then we'll try to turn the computer on. Alright, well I went ahead and plugged in the power. The good news is nothing's blown up yet, but let's see what happens when we turn it on. See if we hear that sweet stepper motor hard drive. Sounds about like I remembered it. Not see. Oh! I think I need to unplug the SCSI cable. Yeah, I need to unplug the SCSI cable. Because it's, the hard drive access light didn't even come on, so let me unplug that. I may need to power cycle the machine for that. Yeah, it's still... Gosh, these Centronics cables are just... Oh, there we go. Yep. Boots right up. Interesting. Didn't realize that was a thing. Yep, so we're good to go. This hard drive is still chugging along fine. The time has slipped quite a bit, but we do still have a real-time clock battery working. Oh, the top right corner of the screen is a little out of sync. I may need to... this mouse is terrible. I may need to pull some adjustment levers in there or something. Oh, mouse is terrible because the mouse pad wasn't laying flat. Okay, there we go. So let's fix the clock. The date's right. It's just slipped like a couple hours. So it is 7:46. There we go. We still got a speaker. Man, this is great because what often happens on these Mac SEs, it seems like, is they'll start having weird capacitor failure, and your real-time clock stuff is the first thing to go. Next thing is your internal speaker. Before too long, the screen will start acting up, and eventually the system will no longer boot. But hey, this thing is still chugging. What? What? Oh, I clicked the version string. I didn't even know you could do that. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, alright, so there we go. Well, let's shut her down and let's plug in the external hard drive and see what happens. Alright, give me a second to get everything plugged in. To be clear, I really don't have high hopes for this at all, but we'll give it a try anyway. Well, it's as good a time as any. The access light on the internal drive is on now. Kind of sounds like the bearings are going bad in that. Well, it's still booting up fine. That's a good sign. And we have no sign of life from this hard drive at all. So... well, it's not going to be in... we're not even going to have any sort of disk setup utility on here, are we? Didn't think about that. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I may need to get a different Mac. I didn't think about that being an issue. Okay, well. I also may have this plugged into the wrong port. I honestly don't remember which is which. I don't know if it really matters, though. Well, I'm going to mess with it a little bit, and we'll see what happens. We are still getting nothing. I have a System 7.5 disk that I'm going to try to load up in here. It takes forever to boot. This thing really shouldn't be running anything newer than System 7.0, but it's what I have on hand, so I'm going to stick it in here and see if it'll boot. And see if we can get to some disk utilities or something. Well, I didn't even have to boot from the System 7.5 disk. I just clicked on Apple HDSC setup and it surprisingly just worked. It is trying, but Not doing a whole lot. Well, we are getting absolutely no different responses with this, even with the Centronics Terminator on it. I have the SCSI ID set to 5. There really shouldn't be anything else on here, I don't think. Like, I don't know. What the heck? I'll try booting into Disk Tools just to see what the heck it does. This is going to take a while. Booted all the way into macOS 7.5 System Tools, or excuse me, Disk Tools, just to have the exact same thing happen. I think it's dead. But I just don't understand, like, this isn't even detecting it. Like, other things were at least detecting the drive. I have no idea what's wrong. Let's go ahead and boot back into System 7 instead of this miserably lethargic 7.5. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the deal is. I really have no idea what's wrong with this drive because the interface seems to work just fine. But no matter what I attach it to, it just doesn't get detected. It's just really strange. I don't know. There's only one SCSI device in this whole machine, and it's SCSI device 0. So there's not an ID conflict, because I should have this set to 4 or something like that. So, actually, let's just turn this off. Go ahead and disconnect the cable. Let's boot it back up. We can at least record the sound of this mini scribe. There you go. Well, I pulled out the Quadra 610 to give it a shot, and its built-in hard drive sounds terrible. Oh gosh, that is out of sync. That's a little bit better. Still not great. This monitor just does terrible analog video, so what can I really say? Yeah, dude, the bearings on that driver, about gone. I'm surprised the thing's still running. That's an old Quantum Pro drive, so before too long its heads will probably get stuck in the parked position permanently. Well, it's booting up. That hard drive's still hanging on for now. So yeah, and I hooked that drive up and the Mac SE just froze. So I'm not overly confident that the external enclosure is really doing us any favors here. This thing's clock battery finally bit the dust. Oh well. Hey, here we are at the desktop. We'll check what SCSI IDs are being used. 0, 3, and 7. Alright, well I'm going to put the hard drive at 4 like we've been doing, I guess. Alright, well let's see what we get out of this thing now. There's no way this is going to work. This is a monstrosity. Not to mention the fact that this Maxtor drive is really, really slow for booting macOS 8.1. Seriously, the last boot that I did took over 2 minutes. This is the drive that came in that machine, and you know, it's quite a bit newer and quite a bit faster, and it's one of those nice, lightweight aluminum quantum drives. This thing is just slow. I mean, this is slower if it works at all, but yeah. You can hear it clicking away right there. Yeah, it's slow. Well, we're getting some activity. Just the same old thing, though, it seems like. It may need a low-level format, which I don't know how to do on a Mac. Ordinarily, you just hook it up to a PC and use the built-in adapter card configuration utility, but I don't actually have a PC SCSI card. Now, I could always grab one off eBay, I guess. I just haven't. Ow! Why did I do that? I just stuck my hand right on the 68 LC040 right there. I'm an idiot. Actually, is that an LC040 or is that a 68040? I don't know. Regardless, it hurt. And I'm stupid. Well, at the very least, before we even... I didn't copy disk tools. Whatever, man. It doesn't matter. I could probably just use this drive anyway. I was just trying to make sure that to avoid any other sort of issues that everything was terminated correctly. And this is so slow. There's our main hard drive. There's the Seagate. Movable media. No. It's even showing the... it's showing all the information correctly, but yeah. I don't know, I'm going to try something else random real quick. Let's pop in that Disk Tools System 7.5 disk again. Hope the floppy disk drive in this machine still works. It's been out in the garage. Seems like it does. Oh, would you look at that? We got the little colored Macintosh now. Haven't seen that in a minute. Made it all the way to drive setup, and we're just doing the same old thing. Oh, well, wait a minute, what's this? Hold on. DOS volume. I'm gonna tell it... Actually, I'm not gonna tell it to do a low-level format. That's a bad idea if I don't even know if the drive works. I could really screw this thing up. Wish I could mount it, but I think there's something wrong with the volume. It's probably got like DOS 3 on it or something weird like that. I don't know. I mean, disk first aid's not gonna be able to do anything, right? Yeah, it only sees Mac disks. I mean, let's check the what's it called? PC Exchange. There we go. So I'm going to load that. And let's, I'm going to reboot. We're updating the list of drives now, that's great. I'm going to reboot this thing, and while it's rebooting, I'm just going to go grab myself some food, I think, so. We'll know then if something good happens. Well, that made no improvements, and I don't know what's going to happen now. Yep, so no changes. Screw it, I'm just going to try initializing the disk. Unrecognized driver of this disk is protected by security software. Whatever, I don't think that actually matters. Oh, it's trying. It may just have lots of bad sectors. See, it says initialization failed. I'm going to go ahead and try a low-level... Well, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and try a low-level format. It's making unhappy noises still. Oh. Oh. That is a good sound. That is a very good sound. Oh, whoa, it's actually trying. Holy crap, I'm gonna get myself some Taco Bell. I don't want to watch this. Guys, I'm not convinced it's fully working, but before I even went to get my food, I came back and here it was. We have Untitled. It's 40 megs. Let's... What are these, the macOS README files? Let's try dropping them in here. Holy crap, it's at least kind of working. I am impressed. Okay. Well, we got something bigger that I can try copying? Not really. I have some old floppy images. I was using this machine to write Apple IIgs disks. So, I mean, yeah, like how big is this folder? 26 megs, perfect. I don't think it's perfect, but by golly, it is functioning. I'd be really curious to see what System 6 does on this thing. I bet it would mount on the SE now. Alrighty, well, now that I've got the drive working, I've got the SE hooked back up, I've got this connected to the external enclosure again, well, enclosure, and we're going to real quick try to run this again. I have the Centronics terminator taken off again. Obviously I'm not using the built-in selector, I've just got jumper settings set for this to be device 4, and, well, let's see if it's still working. I just finished eating, so it's been, you know, it's been almost an hour now, I guess, since I got it working. I'm having allergy problems, and after I eat, I can't ever clear my throat because of it, so apologize for that. Turn the system on. Thankfully, the mini scribe appears to still be kicking. There's a scratch right in the middle of the screen, it looks like. I don't think I noticed that before. My hope is that we'll be able to boot from this just for kicks, but it sees the file system on it. Maybe a little too hopeful about the file system on that drive. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh dude, this is awesome. Okay, so yep, let's go ahead and delete all this. We don't need this. See the disk light up there, emptying the trash. Let's go ahead and drop our system folder over here. This is actually a bigger drive than what's in here. In here we have a 20 meg, and this external drive is a 40 meg. This is probably slower though. I think it's, well, probably a hair older. It might not necessarily be older though. It may just be for older computers. You never know, like, because not all computers had 3.5-inch bays, and plus these were cheaper to make than 3.5-inch drives at first. It definitely seems slower though. Obviously there's really no real reason to even have this. It's just for kicks. Now if it would fit in here, I might actually use it just because it's 40 megs instead of 20, but it is much, much slower, so. But you know what? Just for fun, let's go ahead and, how big is teach text? 19K? Alright, we'll drop that in there too. Just how many games is that? Let's see. That's actually most of the space on the disk. Alright, well, in that case, let's go ahead and drop ClarisWorks over here too, just to have some software. I'm amazed that this is actually working. All it needed was a low-level format. Again, I don't know how reliable it will be. These old stepper motor drives, they don't just quit working usually like modern drives do. So there could still be something wrong that just hasn't shown itself yet, but How much is in this folder, I wonder? 261K, whatever. Let's just copy the software, aside from games. I mean, this is... this could be from... I guess probably 89? I don't know, I don't remember. Anyway, let's go ahead and... see. Is it chooser? No. How do I set my startup device? I actually have no idea how to set my startup... Oh, there it is. Alrighty. Let us reboot. Ooh. Oh, it's booting. That is such an awesome sounding hard drive. Oh, I love that. That is amazing. And, open teach text. Here we are at teach text. I'm not running MultiFinder, obviously. This computer's a little slow for MultiFinder. And if we run ClarisWorks, yep. I could even install System 7 on here just for kicks. Keep the internal drive on System 6. Yep, there you go. Let's go ahead and I'm going to set the startup device back to the internal drive. I'm going to shut her down. Amazing. Well, as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.